Howdy, folks. I'm a goat.
I'm El Chupacabra.
And here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for teaching my niece, a 4-year-old female, to say El Chupacabra when her mom says, you know what really gets my goat? Basically the title, I guess. My sister has a habit of saying, you know what really gets my goat. She probably says it 7 or 8 times a day. So, like the Tumblr post, I taught my niece to say El Chupacabra when her mom says it sounds more like Chupacabra, though cause she's 4, it's adorable. I told my niece that it was a monster from Mexico that eats goats and she didn't seem scared or anything. Probably cause the only monster she knows is Cookie Monster, but apparently now my niece walks around the house saying El Chupacabra all day, and now my sister and brother-in-law are mad at me for teaching her this, but in my opinion, it's kind of adorable and also harmless. But she's my sister's kid, so I don't know. Wasn't that story adorable? It was. It was almost adorable as liking and subscribing to this channel. I really appreciate all the likes and subscribes because it helps me make this channel grow and so that we can have more people enjoy this content. Moving right along. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
OP, I think that this is comical more than anything. I think that your sister is probably taking this a little too seriously. It's probably more adorable and harmless than it is anything, but also kids at that age can be really annoying and say a lot the same thing over and over and over again, which can be repetitive and annoying, which is the definition of repetitive. I don't think you're the jerk, but also I kind of sympathize with your sister too because she has to deal with this. So, yeah. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk. This is what kids do. You wind them up and you set them loose. Somebody likes chaos. This is the way. It's not like it's something that you can prevent or even stop if you wanted to. After my dad once told my niece, a 3-year-old female, not to run into traffic when we were about to go on a walk, I told her the story about how her daddy did run into traffic when he was her age. I didn't even think she was paying attention, but every time she hears the word traffic, she announces that daddy ran into traffic. Not the jerk. Chupacabra is too funny a word for any kid to pass up any opportunity to just say it. Exactly. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my sister to stop describing things to her blind boyfriend during family movie night? My sister is a 20-year-old female and she's been dating this guy, a 22-year-old male, for a little over a year now. He became completely blind at the age of 16 after a car accident. He's pretty well adjusted to his new way of living by now. Well, yesterday night, we had a family get together at our parents' house. We had dinner, we played some board games, chatted, and some things like that. We started watching a movie, and it was also on the checklist. Well, we played the movie, and immediately after it started, my sister started describing things to her boyfriend. How the people and the environment looked, etc. It annoyed me, a 26-year-old female, cause even though they were whispering, I could still hear them, and it disturbed my immersion. I know, imagine that. Imagine having your immersion disturbed while somebody else just can't see the scenes at all. Probably such a hard life. Maybe you're right. Maybe that does break the immersion to not be able to experience it with all of your senses. I kept quiet for a little while, but I ended up telling them to please be quiet because other people like the quietness of them during movies. They shut up. But after the movie, my sister pulled me aside and started calling me names, telling me how that was super rude and ableist. That she'd never thought I would act like this, etc. I told her that I'm in no way ableist, but it's annoying to hear the constant noise during a movie, and this would apply to everyone. She said that she won't talk to me anymore unless I apologize to her and her boyfriend. I would, but I don't understand what I did wrong. I believe that when you're hanging out with others, you should be courteous and fit in with the other people there. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Sure.
I understand what OP is saying here, but OP, you have to understand that he's living with a disability, and sometimes in order to make things more equitable and more enjoyable for everyone involved, she's doing this so that he can experience the movie and, understand the movie. He went blind at 16 and hasn't been blind for all that long. So he still has probably deep memories of seeing all the different scenes and stuff like that. What she's doing here is she's helping him to be immersed in it, almost like she's telling a story. And I don't think that that's wrong. This is the arrangement that's worked out for them, probably because he misses seeing these things. And I can certainly understand that being hard on him. I think in this situation, OP, you need to have understanding and patience, especially towards people who can't experience the world in the same way as you. So I do think that you're being a jerk in this situation, and I think you really should have reevaluate your position here. Anyhow, take care and good luck. You're the jerk. How else was he supposed to know what was happening in the movie? Your comments for sure probably embarrassed and hurt him, even if he's grown accustomed to living without sight. I'm sure he's aware, and it can be frustrating to others, and he'll probably be more frustrated than anyone else, but him being included is more important than your immersion. It's just a movie. What I'm wondering is, why would they choose activities not suited for a blind person if they knew the blind person would attend? Definitely, you're the jerk. I mean, he might have agreed to the movie. There's nothing to say that he doesn't enjoy spending time and watching movies with OP. I think that's a bit of a jump to conclusions. I think that they enjoy watching movies in their own way. I don't imagine they've stopped watching movies here. I'm not blind, but I'm somewhat visually impaired, and I have problems following movies sometimes. I know for one, I would have been very hurt and humiliated. I am so sorry my disability is such a burden for you, OP. How horrible for us to inconvenience you with just trying to live our lives like that. Exactly. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your favorite beverage and take a sip. As you can see, I have the same teas up here, and I did Wordle in 4.
I did Whirl in 3.
Amber did do Wordle in 3. What do hippopotamuses have that no other animal has? Baby hippopotamuses. Oh, how absurd. How absurd. And I had mint tea. Our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Boyfriend He Ruined Our Date? I am a 21-year-old female and my boyfriend is a 23-year-old male of 5 years, and we went to my favorite restaurant a few weeks ago. The meal was great and we both really enjoyed ourselves. It was perfect, a completely perfect dinner. I paid the $60 check and we went to the parking lot to the car. I live in a huge college town, along with that, Saturday night being a senior ball, so the town was busy. We get back to the car and the cars are surrounding us, and it was parked the exact same way as when we went in. There were cars to each side of his car, along with a truck parallel parked behind him at least 2 car lengths away. In front of him was the wall of the restaurant, and behind him was the roadway in the parking lot, and then parallel parked truck at a distance to clarify. He starts to back out of the space, and after a few tries, he says that he cannot do it. I say instantly I can spot him so he can get out. He says no, and that won't help him because the truck behind him wasn't there when he pulled into the spot, and he was scared of hitting it. It was there when he pulled into the spot. He also added that he doesn't want others to see me spotting him like that, and he can't handle his own vehicle, or that he can't handle his own vehicle. I said, okay, I'll go into the restaurant and find one of the owners of one of the cars and ask if there was any way they could move it so he could get out. He didn't want to, but it was his only choice. He says no and kind of flips out, throwing his hat and sunglasses into the dash in frustration and the flooring as if he was going to hit the building, slamming on the brake as he does. Wow, this is not good. Not good at all. He calls his parents, screaming about not being able to get out of the spot, and even locked my door when I tried to get out of the vehicle to go get someone else to help him / spot him. Okay, so the first thing about relationships is that you're supposed to be a team. You're supposed to be working together, and if he can't recognize that you're trying to help him and that you're on the same team as him, and he's treating this as some weird competition that you can't possibly help him, that's not a good sign, and I would say that's a red flag. Like, this is a very immature take that he's having here. Also, when he is on the phone, the owner of one of the neighboring cars comes outside. I try to tell him that want to talk to him, but he ignored me and kept complaining to his parents about how there was no way we were getting out of the spot. The owner of the neighboring car gets into another car and leaves while my boyfriend is getting off the phone and says, "Guess we're stuck." The screaming and begging him just to let me spot him continues for 20 minutes, and he makes jabs of it my way that I don't have a license, so I wouldn't be able to understand how he feels. At that point, I was really upset and in tears. I had just taken him out for dinner and spent a pretty good amount of money for him to show me that he's being a butt. Finally, he lets me out of the car to spot him, and within 2 minutes, we are out of the spot. So he threw a huge temper tantrum, and all he had to do is let you spot him for 2 minutes. Later that night, I told him that he ruined the night out and the dinner I paid for absolutely no reason. I also added that he always has to find a way to destroy any date night or thing in general that I want to do just because it's not something he picks. He said that what happened was my fault and I shouldn't have spoken to him because it made him more frustrated when he was trying to, quote, find a solution to the problem. Am I the jerk here? What do you folks think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
OP, he's blaming you for his problems here. You gave him a perfectly reasonable solution to the problem, and all he did was make a jerk out of himself. And I think that that's really important to note here. You did not do this. You didn't cause him to act like a child. He did that all on his own. So no, OP, I don't think that you're the jerk in this situation, but I do think that if he's constantly ruining your date nights because it's not something that he suggested, then you should really reconsider this relationship. It doesn't sound like you're very happy. It sounds like he does this often. So why are you staying with him? Just some food for thought. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, he locked you in a car because he was mad. That is the absurd part and abusive. What in the world? Then he gaslights you and says it's your fault. You even paid. He had one job and don't be a, quote, mean word. I don't know what this mean word is. Yeah, definitely not the jerk. Definitely not the jerk. He sounds controlling and manipulative. Not the worst part, he called his parents. Like, what are they supposed to do? And why is a 23-year-old calling them because he can't maneuver a parking car? Not the jerk. Boyfriend is the jerk, and he doesn't sound like a catch. Truly immature. I would run. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like, and if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.